But Matt Bradley still had an amazing effect at the end on this game, made free throws. There was the trap that Alabama tried to get on Bradley late, and he ended up getting out of it. 3 Bama players surrounded him, and he got out. I think Parrish had free throws there. He made, I think, 1 of 2 of those. But what a game. San Diego State, Alabama. Yes, I was wrong. I'll admit that. I thought that Alabama was going to win. I thought it was going to be close. I thought San Diego State could win the game, and it was close. San Diego State, by the way, wins 71 to 64. They outscored Alabama 28-23 in the first half, and then 43-41 in the second half. They had a big, 12-0 run that they had in the second half. I believe it was the second half. That was obviously huge. Gave them all the momentum. Darian Trammell, my goodness. Talk about having a game of your life in the biggest spot possible, right? But I thought, getting back to my pre-game prediction, going into the game, I thought Alabama was going to win. It was going to be a close game. Both had really good defenses, but I thought that Alabama, they're a good three-point shooting team as well. They have the length advantage over San Diego State. I just thought that they were going to be able to edge San Diego State out. But San Diego State, they played a perfect game, pretty much. Were there Alabama runs? Yeah. And did San Diego State shoot the 3 amazingly well? They made 6 threes. It's not amazingly well. Was Matt Bradley their best player? Did he step up all game long? No. But when they needed him most at the end, he stepped up. When they needed a big game from someone, like Darian Trammell, he stepped up. 21 points. Made 3 threes. Micah Parrish made 2 threes. Seiko added a 3. 9 for 16 from the field today. Darian Trammell. I thought that he might have been limping a little bit in the first half because he was clipped, I think, by Brandon Miller on his left hip, left leg. Came back in the game. He was making threes. He was making jumpers. I mean, what a game from him. Remember in I think it was the Mountain West tournament, he was not scoring at all in games, and you could see they had him on the bench, not sulking, but just obviously not very happy about his performance. But then, fast forward a couple weeks later, and he's having the game of his life. That's so cool. So cool to watch. Over 20 points for him, 8 points for Keyshawn Johnson, 4 points for Nathan Mensah, who grabbed 8 rebounds, 5 blocks for Nathan Mensah in this game. What a block he had in late in the second half, too. My goodness. Butler, 4 points. Bradley, 6 points. Bradley, he had no points with 10:47 left in the second half. So Alabama limited him. Didn't do anything. I think he was 0 for 6 from the field at that point. But again, he made those free throws late to make it, I think, back into a 2-possession game. Trammell, 14 points with 10:47 left at that same point that Bradley had no points. He stepped up, right? Bradley was not clicking. Trammell stepped up. The defense stepped up. It was a weird game. It wasn't a totally clean game. There was loose balls that could have had more possessions on Alabama's side, could have had more possessions for San Diego State. Alabama, like I said earlier, they're a better three-point shooting team, I thought. But watching this game, you wouldn't have thought that. They end up making 3 3-pointers the entire game. 3 for 27. They shot 11.1% from 3. I mean, if they would have made a couple more of those, obviously this story would have been maybe a little bit different. San Diego State, credit to them defensively, limited Brandon Miller to 1 3-pointer. Brandon Miller attempted 10 3-pointers, 1 for 10 from 3. 9 points. Kept him in single digits. Alabama's best player. They kept Clowney with 3 points. By the way, he almost went to San Diego State. And a rope fouled out late in this game, second half of this game, and it was still close. And I wish I would have enjoyed San Diego State's dominance a little bit more. But I was kind of just waiting, Alabama, they're the 1 seed here. They have the length. I'm just waiting for them to go back, tie this game, take the lead. And it got close. I think it was like a 4-point game at one point. It was a 2-point game, I remember, late in the second half. And I was waiting for that, like for San Diego State to end up, being down. Maybe they came back and won, but I was waiting for that moment. But it didn't happen. San Diego State kept going, kept playing really, really good defense. And this is the first Mountain West team ever to advance to the Elite Eight. UNLV, Wyoming, as they said on the broadcast, they had some runs, but they were not a part of the Mountain West Conference yet. So this is the best team in San Diego State men's basketball history, results-wise. The 30-2 team in 2020, I'm always going to think like that's the best San Diego State team. They would have been a Final Four team. But this team right here has the chance to do that with a win over, I believe, Princeton or Creighton on Sunday. And I believe they're going to be the higher seed in this game. They're going to be wearing their white home unis, I think, on Sunday. So could not be happier for Brian Dutcher. It was Steve Fisher's birthday today. So obviously a great birthday present for him. What a win. Jaden Ledee, I got to shout him out. That spin dunk that he had, the one-hand slam, that got everyone fired up. It seemed like there were a lot of San Diego State fans there in Louisville today. So credit to all the San Diego State fans that showed up. I think I saw Kevin O'Connell, the Vikings head coach, was there. I know it's a Friday, so that probably helped. But, man, it looked like there was a lot of State fans there. 21 points from Darion Trammell. He showed up when it mattered. Matt Bradley showed up when it mattered. Nathan Mensah showed up defensively when it mattered. A rope, how many blocks did he have? No blocks, but had 5 rebounds. No, 3 rebounds, excuse me. So he didn't have his best game, but guess what? Ledee had a really good game. 12 points for him. Keyshawn, right? Mensah, like they stepped up for other guys that weren't having their best game. What a run. So they beat Charleston. They beat Furman to get to the Sweet 16. They have to go up against the number 1 seed. No one picked San Diego State to win this game, at least from what I saw, including myself. But I thought it was going to be a close game, and it was. Alabama's a good team. But San Diego State, they played better. It seemed like they wanted it a little bit more. Matt Bradley, I think Matt Bradley was called for the foul in the first half, but went diving for that ball, and his face smashed against the court, against the hardwood. Like, it felt like San Diego State wanted it more. They went and earned that win. Yeah, Alabama did not shoot well from 3. But Darion Trammell had the game of his life. The defense stepped up. So congratulations to San Diego State, to the Elite Eight for the first time in program history. They did something. They have done something this year that Kawhi Leonard's team did not do. Again, the 30-2 team will never know. Malachi Flynn has told me in person that he thought that they'd go win they'd go win it all that year in 2020. But obviously, COVID happened. I mean, there's a bunch of teams, by the way, that are going to have that what if. I look at women's basketball with Oregon and Sabrina Ionescu. I loved watching that team, and obviously the San Diego State men's team. Those are 2 that, one on each side, men's, women's, that stand out to me. Like, what if they would have went to the Final Four, both of those teams, if they could have gotten that opportunity. So what a year already. This year is already an amazing success for San Diego State. And now you're going to feel like they can go win. If Creighton goes and beats if Creighton goes and beats Princeton, which I think they can do, you're going to have a rematch from last year. San Diego State in the Elite Eight is going to get a chance to get that revenge game over Creighton, which was a first-round game last year. Wild. What a win from San Diego State.